Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Military Spouse to Millionaire. My very special guest today is Emily. We love Emily. You love Emily. The most important thing that Emily does on the team is actually make bread.
Well, obviously. No. That is the most important thing.
I always tell people when I'm giving them your bread as, spoiler alert, part of your housewarming gift is some of Emily's amazing sourdough bread. I always tell them the story about you guys buying sight unseen, which I'll let you get into in a minute, but you made me like a thank you for helping us buy our house loaf of sourdough bread once you rehydrated your starter. Yes, you heard that correct. This chick dehydrated her own sourdough starter, put it in a plastic bag like drugs.
Yeah, it was really like that.
And hand carried this shit on the plane from Georgia?
From Georgia.
From Georgia, and then rehydrated it to make you sourdough bread. As a congratulations. But she made me a loaf to thank me for helping them buy their house. And I, grabbed it, I got it, and it was fresh and it was just smelled divine. And I ate it out of the bag. And I think I even sent you a photo. Yeah, I sent you a photo eating it out of the bag in my car like a savage. I didn't even get home. I didn't even have any butter with it. It was so phenomenally good. And now literally still every 2 weeks, Emily makes me bread, brings me sourdough.
Yes.
It's fantastic. But that's not really, that is a small piece of what you do for finding home and for me. But that is what I'm most grateful for. So anyways, I'll stop talking. Tell the World Wide Web, tell the Finding Home people watching about your real estate story. You guys had owned previously, and that's a little bit different than some other people that I've had on the podcast. So I guess just from the beginning, like your experience, like why did you guys buy homes to begin with? Because you're young. I don't know if you want to tell the world your age, but you're young. It's in your 20s, okay? And that's something that I hear a lot from people is we don't want to buy because we're too young.
It's bullshit. It is bullshit. It truly is. It's complete bullshit. So I'm 25. My husband's also 25. We started off renting, and that was mostly because we were living in Washington. We just got married. We had no idea. We rented this little apartment. It was the cutest little thing with vaulted ceilings, by the way, which
makes a difference in a little tiny place.
It does make a big difference.
For real.
We were renting in DuPont, Washington. Love it.
Yeah, love DuPont.
I honestly miss it, even though it was like our little apartment. I miss that area. With our little cat and all of our little things. We got married and we were living there, and we lived there for about 6 months, I'd say. And that just wasn't enough time for us to even look into buying.
Sure,
and plus,
that's fair.
He was such a low rank that at that point we weren't affording the DuPont area or really anywhere close to base. So, it worked out for the time being. And then he was like, okay, I want to buy a house in Georgia. I was skeptical, to be honest. I was skeptical. I was like, you want to buy a house in Georgia? What do you mean? Like, I had never really thought about it.
Right.
Like, I just thought, we rent. This isn't our forever home. We rent, whatever. And then he kind of explained it to me. He was like, why are we going to waste our money on renting when we could just buy a place and maybe make a profit or rent it out?
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then he started talking about let's look before we get there. And I was like, no, you're crazy.
Too much.
You're crazy. Because you think I'm going to just buy a house without seeing it first.
Right.
Like, I want to look around. And I got on board eventually. And then it ended up, we had to explain it to his parents. And his parents were like, you guys are crazy.
That is such a valid thing to talk about, though, because and you see now kind of more behind the scenes a lot of the communications that I have with young or even middle-aged incoming people who are trying to, explain this, or not even explain, because you don't always have to give an explanation, but they're just talking about this to people in their lives.
Yeah.
And they don't understand the military life and getting BAH, which is guaranteed money for housing, and they don't understand the Hawaii market specifically and why it's not so scary to buy here. And yes, it's the Hawaii market specifically, but I also think if you buy around any military installation, it gives you a certain amount of insulation because there's always going to be the churning people coming in and leaving in that area.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, I mean, I get how it can be taxing to explain all of that to people who don't understand the same things that you understand.
Yeah, and especially to somebody who's never been in the military or even moved out of their hometown.
Yeah.
Like that is, it's concerning to people who hear that and they're like, you're really going to buy and you've never even been to the city before.
Yeah.
Because we bought in Savannah, Georgia. We're from New Hampshire originally. We really never ventured out of New Hampshire. And then to be like, yeah, we're just going to buy a home and not even meet our realtor. And, and so it was scary, of course, because I'm going on the spouses pages and I'm like, help me find a realtor. And I'm like, well, I guess we're just trusting this complete stranger. And
the biggest purchase of your life at that time.
Right. And we got in touch with a realtor, which I won't get super into because wasn't the best experience with that specific realtor.
Sure.
We actually never met her.
Ever?
I
don't think I knew that.
No, ever.
Oh
we
my
never
God.
met her in person. We just talked with her on the phone. And
that's crazy.
Even when we got our keys were left.
Okay, so
yeah.
I literally, there is one or two clients right now, one specifically, who I have never met. And it irks the shit out of me because I want to meet them. Yes. And I've reached out to them multiple times. I think right now I'm at 3 or 4 times that I have actively been like, when can I come give you your gift bag? When can I meet you? Clayton has met them.
Right.
Which is
crazy.
Which is crazy because he's their lender.
Right.
Not that he's not important, but
No.
if anybody's going to meet the client, it's normally me.
The person who gets their house.
Yeah. So that's fascinating to me that you never even met her.
And it gave me an icky feeling too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to meet this person I've been communicating
client
with.
Who hasn't met me in person, you know who you are, and I've tried.
No.
I've tried.
It's true. She tries really, really hard and meets almost all.
Unless
point.
I'm out of town or
Right.
there were some closings that happened while I was on a trip and I haven't met those people, obviously.
But there was still a lot of communication.
There was still a lot of communication with them and day of closing.
Yeah.
I even sent them video recorded messages
Right.
congratulating them. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No.
That's crazy.
And I think that's great because there are people out there who don't try and they don't put in the effort to meet somebody who's, they're getting a commission off of this purchase and it makes the buyer feel like I was literally just
disregarded.
I was just another number to you. And so that feels icky, but
it does.
But, we got very, very lucky with our house in Georgia. It was giant, way bigger than we'd ever need.
You recently showed me pictures.
Yeah. This thing was 2,600 square feet for just the two of us.
You could fit your whole place now in the living room of this house.
Yes, it was massive. It was so unnecessary. It was at the top of our budget, but it was beautiful. We loved it. And it was surprisingly, our first home was a dream home, essentially. Because it was in the South. It's in Georgia.
Yeah.
It was cheap. So that was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that with that realtor again.
Yeah.
I also have high standards now. So we lived there for about 3 years and then we started looking at where Duncan was going to go next.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Hawaii and I was like, oh my gosh, he had already been to Hawaii. We lived here for a few months, but we just lived
during
in a hotel.
COVID, right?
Yeah, we lived in a hotel and it was not that big of an experience, but I was like, oh my gosh, we're going back to Hawaii. We've got pets. We've got household goods. We've got vehicles. We've got
all the things.
Yeah.
When as a spouse, you're like, my job, I have to find it.
Absolutely. And that was scary in itself. But on the real estate side of things, I was like, where are we going to live? Are we going to live on base? Are we going to, because of course my first thought is we're going to live on post because of how expensive it is. You see all of that stuff all over social media about it's so expensive. People are talking about it all the time.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm toying with different ideas. There's a lot of on-post housing. We're going to be at Shafter, so I don't know. It's, I don't really want to live on AMR,
With the jet fuel in the water.
Okay, I'm good. So, I don't know. I kind of put that to the wayside. I'm like, okay, I guess we're just going to live on post, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a lot of research because I spent 6 months just prepping. Even though we had no orders yet, I was like, I need to be so prepared.
As any good military spouse does, the moment you hear whispers about starting to PCS somewhere, you're like, on the spouse's pages. You're prepping, you're making a checklist, you're starting a binder. I knew you did.
That binder.
It's just what we inherently do as spouses. And knowing you as well as I do, I would expect nothing less.
I had spreadsheets,
from you.
I had a binder, I had
they were color-coded.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what you have to do. So you were doing all the normal, you know, especially coming here. And it's so hard to find reliable information coming here. I mean, that was my experience anyways, when we came here almost a decade ago. We've been here 9 years this month, which is crazy. That's the longest we've lived anywhere.
It's your anniversary.
It hasn't changed though over the years because I am helping people move here. Literally, I think it's last year alone, we sent my PCS packet to 640 incoming families because your experience, my experience of it being a kind of all-out shit show to move here hasn't changed. So we have to take it upon ourselves, make the spreadsheets, make the binders, do the things, especially with pets.
Oh my gosh.
Getting Toby here, I know, was an experience
exhausting
for you. Yeah.
Like I honestly spent every single lunch that I had from work working on this PCS for like 6 months.
That's crazy.
And I would just be calling people and writing things down and also figuring out how to rent out our house. That was a whole nother step. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, you kept your house.
We did.
You are landlords, which I love because that's just, I'm telling you, if Clayton and I had started out as young as you guys are, like we were I was maybe in my late 20s. He was in his early 30s before we bought our first house.
Yeah.
If we had started as young as you guys started, get out of here. Like,
just raining money.
I would it'd be like DuckTales. You're probably too young to know what that is, but like there was a cartoon and it's called DuckTales and he would like jump into a pile of like coins and just like swim around in them.
That. I feel like,
but we better late than never. But that's why I'm so passionate about talking to young people and letting them know, like, if you're old enough to serve in the United States military and go off to war and defend our country, you're probably old enough to take your tax-free BAH and pay your own mortgage.
To have an investment.
Right. Like, and you kept your property. And I love that.
Yeah. And that was a whole...
another thing.
Oh my goodness, stressful trying to find property managers and figuring everything out. But we started looking into just the PCS in general. I was like, let's put aside the housing part for now, take it out of the equation and just do the PCS. And I'm on Reddit, I'm on Google, I'm on Facebook, I'm on everything, just looking for answers because I have no idea where to start.
Right.
No clue. And I just look up PCS to Hawaii. And who pops up? Oh, this lady. And it was like a gold
I've worked hard for that to happen over the years.
It was like a gold mine of everything. And so I actually went back to the messages with you and I reached out to you, which was kind of cool. But I was like, I need to see your listings. I need to see your PCS packet. I need to see it all. Please help. And
I got you.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
And the PCS packet was amazing and literally everything I needed to know. And then you got me on a call and I was like, this lady is not going to convince me to own a home at this point. Like I'm dead set. It's expensive. I'm like too nervous about, and also at this point, I didn't even know we were going to rent out our house.
Oh, okay.
I was like
still undecided.
We had just bought a brand new HVAC system, a new roof from the hurricane that went through. And I was like, I am done with this house. I want it out of my life. I want it gone. And then we talked to you and I was like, I need your, like, the most honest opinion that you can give me. Should we sell this house? And you said to me straight up, you would be dumb to sell your house. You'd be dumb. And I was like, all right, that's what I needed to hear.
Sounds like
that's
something I would say.
But I needed that bluntness because, like, if it had been sugar coated, like I wouldn't
or vague.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't have known. I needed something very
decisive,
solid.
Yeah.
And that was what I needed to hear. And we talked for a good hour, probably just about everything. And then from then I was like, all right, we're buying. 100% we're buying. There's no other option. Because
I love that.
Why would we do that? Like, why would we live on post or rent or whatever?
Yeah. People's hesitancy to buy, I think, comes from the knee-jerk reaction that you were just talking about. Like, there's a lot of fear-mongering. Of course, the cost of living here is higher.
Yeah, but
for sure.
it varies.
However, how much was your BAH in Georgia? Roughly.
2,800.
And how much is his BAH here?
Oh, like 36 or 30. Oh, maybe more than that now that it's 2026. But
yeah, so I think I actually got done talking to E6, and I want to say it's like 3,700 now,
something like that.
So I mean,
and then the COLA,
So people are quick to get online and fearmonger or bitch about the high cost of living in Hawaii, but just to play devil's advocate, we also get sometimes double, like ours doubled when we moved here from Colorado.
Right.
It doubled our BAH. And then, we got hundreds and hundreds of dollars in cost of living allowance. So I think it's a little unfair to just harp on the higher cost of living without at least mentioning that the military does do a somewhat fair job of compensating us extra for the higher cost of living here.
Yeah. And so that's, of course, like me not being educated right from the start. I didn't know what I was walking into. Right. And like you said, I don't know the housing market here at that point. And I'm just, I'm nervous. There's a lot of stress involved. Yeah. And so
sometimes you just want to hit the easy button. And I think that's where,
that's all I wanted.
Yeah. I think that's where going on post and living and on post housing is like the equivalent of hitting the easy button.
Yeah, going on autopilot.
Yeah, with all the other kind of sheep is what I call them.
I like that analogy. It's good.
It's like, and I get it though. You have a lot of variables, a lot of things flying around, but that's when I remind people, like, you don't have to buy sight unseen. You have 30 days minimum. If you're Army, you have 30 days. If you're Air Force or Navy or Marines, you have 45 to 60 days for some people. So you have loads of time once you get here. You could land on this island and not have any idea what you want to do for housing, and you have time to figure it out.
Yeah, which is scary, like, for some people to think about, is like you just move somewhere and have no housing option. Like, and so I get that too. And also, even if you were to live on post, you'd still have to live in the hotel for probably even longer.
You never know. Like, the wait list sometimes is crazy depending on the installation that you're living in. Like, I've heard people tell me that it's like 4 months sometimes.
You can get into a house a lot faster than that.
Right.
You can buy one way faster.
I need 3 days to house hunt and 30 days to go through the contract.
She's real quick. Yeah.
So you were in Georgia and you're preparing for the PCS and you were skeptical. We talked, less skeptical. You're buying a house. Great. Yeah. I am honestly, well, 2 things. One, I remember talking to you about your house in Georgia and you asking like what you guys should do with it. And distinctly, I remember explaining to you that the reason I feel so strongly about you keeping it is because even if you run at a deficit for a little while, and not like a huge deficit, in Georgia and Colorado, like mainland places, you can typically rent out your properties depending on where you live in the house. I have to give lots of disclaimers because I don't want someone coming back later saying like, you told me I could rent out my house. But you can oftentimes rent out properties on the mainland for small profits, breaking even, small deficits, whereas here in Hawaii, it's a bit of a different animal. Yeah. The rental market doesn't gain value the same way that the sales market here does. And there's lots of taxes with Hawaii real estate that makes renting a house out when you leave a little less desirable. But the argument that I made with you that I still hold to is even if you have to cover a small deficit, there's still someone else paying down the lion's share of your appreciating asset. And it's not like you're taking, like, say you're running at a $200 a month deficit. People might be like, oh, I'm losing $200 a month. But you're not, because you're putting it towards an investment. It's no different than putting it in Duncan's TSP or putting it in an investment account. You're putting it towards something that is gaining equity, gaining value. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you sell that property, you're recouping that money. You're putting it into an asset.
Right.
And I think that is just overarching what I remember talking to you about the most was like, you're not, because I don't think you knew what you were going to rent it out for at that time or anything. But as long as it was something that you guys could stomach, I just view it as putting it into an investment. And there have been multiple rental properties that Clayton and I have had over the years, especially when we first started investing and it was using his VA loan and putting no money down.
Right.
That we ran at a couple $100 a month deficit for a few years.
Yeah.
But fast forward, when we sold those houses, we made, $60, $80, $100,000 selling those investments.
Which is huge to think about, because it's like you just get a chunk of money. Like, that's crazy to think about. Like, I don't know. So that was exactly what got me to be like, yeah, let's do it. And so we currently have it rented out for slightly more than what our mortgage is, and which is
Golf
great.
Clap?
Yes. And we are running at a deficit just because, every month the tenants are asking for things, and that's fine. Like, I get it. It's, the appliances are older, they need fixing. So
but
that's
won't go
okay.
on forever. Like, that's not a forever problem.
Right. And so I'm okay with doing that now, so then everything's fixed.
Right.
So,
and fun fact, just to highlight, there's a lot of things about your situation that I am grateful to kind of unpack for people, because you check a lot of boxes for a lot of the common things that people give me for, like, why they don't want to buy or think they can buy or whatever. You're young. You have a house on your VA loan, and you purchased another house here on your VA loan. So fun fact, you can do that.
Yes.
You have it as a rental. So you're doing the whole, like, rent. You check a lot of boxes, and you're doing a lot of things that people every single day tell me can't be done, or they're nervous about, or whatever. So exhibit A, guys. Yes, you can do it. And you moved here and you bought a house, and it's within your entitlements, which is another big thing that I talk to people about that they think can't be done. And your husband's not an officer.
True. He's enlisted. So it absolutely can be done. Yes.
Right.
So basically, in moving here, we bought sight unseen, which is another huge thing that people don't want to do.
Twice.
Another box to check. Yes, second house, bought sight unseen. We were in contract for one, and then it didn't appraise. And so, honestly, luckily, we are now living in Eva and not Mililani. Like, Mililani's great, but it works better for our lifestyle and what we want to do. And so, I'm thankful that we ended up in Eva. I love Eva.
Yeah. I love Eva. We've been here 9 years. Like, I mean, all 5 houses we've owned. But also, again, another thing to talk about that your experience brings up is, if you're buying a house and it doesn't appraise, you're protected by that VA appraisal, which I know going into most transactions, if I'm telling people we're offering at asking or over asking, maybe because we're trying to get some sellers credits for the interest rate buy down, people are nervous about that. And I can't remember who I was talking to about it the other day, because we did that piece of content where I was talking in the car about buyers not offering under asking price because it, hurts the market if a home is priced appropriately.
Yeah, highlight that.
Yeah, right. I think it's just because buyers are of this mindset that they need to offer under asking to feel like they're getting some sort of good deal.
Yeah.
And really what I'm trying to highlight when I talk about this is getting $20,000 in credits and concessions from the seller is the equivalent to the seller of a $20,000 under asking price offer.
Right.
But the $20,000 in credit is infinitely more advantageous to you as a buyer.
Definitely.
Versus just getting the home for $20,000 less. If you got the home for $20,000 less, maybe you're saving $100 in your payment.
That's on it. Like, it seems like a lot of money. It's really not. Like,
not when
what are you going to do with that extra $100? You're not. You're
going to go to Starbucks more? Like, you're going to blow it at Target impulse buying shit?
Right.
But if you get $20,000 in credits, which is what you guys did, we got credits for the interest rate buy down. Right. And I think you split up your credits. Yeah. You did your closing costs and a 1-year buy down. Is that right? Okay, so you got to buy a house with no money down. You did not pay your closing costs. The seller paid your closing costs and did a 1-year, 1% interest rate buy down,
which is huge.
Hundreds of dollars a month.
And it's then so much more versatile. Like, I'm so glad we did it that way, especially with the closing costs and everything. Like, people are so worried about closing costs, and it's like, okay, but we actually just bought a home for the price of a home inspection,
which was like $500 maybe.
I don't even think it was that much.
Yeah.
That was it. So
that's crazy.
Honestly, renting at that point would have been more expensive.
Oh, infinitely more expensive. Like, we just rented our Sunrise rental. They dropped $6,600 to move in and are paying me $3,300 a month. It is really renovated. She's pretty, but a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 parking on the 3rd floor.
Right.
With no elevator. You're walking up to the 3rd floor. $3,300 a month, and Landon didn't even have it listed for rent for a month.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fast.
I'm not
now
surprised.
I'm like, should I have rented it for more? No. But yeah, the cost that you shelled out for buying, thousands of dollars less. So I'm curious to you, because you didn't have a good experience buying sight unseen the first time. Pray tell, what made you do it again?
Trust.
Okay.
we trusted you
Thank
way
you.
more than we trusted our other realtor. Like, we just did it that way because we saw a house on the market. Like, when we came from Washington to Savannah, we saw a house on the market and we were like, we love this one.
Yeah.
We want this one. And we want to be able to drive from Washington straight to our house.
Okay.
And just get there.
Yeah.
But here,
convenience.
Of course, I was nervous, but I felt a lot more trusting in you. There was way better communication, like, and especially within the home buying process, like once we were in contract, you guys were like stage 5 clingers.
Yes,
like,
we are still to
truly
this day stage 5 clingers.
And that was so much more, like, that put so much more peace of mind into the process itself. Like, I don't know, I think we jumped the gun a little bit because we get so excited to look at houses and then we find one and we're like, oh my gosh, we need that one. That one's ours. And then we're like, okay, we're okay with buying sight unseen again. That's fine. And so when we got here, we were still in contract, but it was like just a couple days left. And so we were able to sign here in Hawaii, which was great.
Right.
And we only spent like, 2 weeks in the hotel.
Not very long.
It really wasn't a lot.
I remember Clayton coming home from your signing, and he's like, the Smith family's pretty cool. Like, you know how he is. He comes home from signings, and sometimes he's like, oh, God, you know? But he came home from your signing, and he was like, Emily and Duncan are all right.
It's because we talked about pickleball. I think that's probably what it was.
And now we see them every day. We're doing something every day. But it was just, it's so funny to like, look back at the old messages or like think about, before, I don't know, looking back as friends now, like it's just kind of like nostalgic. I'm like, wow. And it's only been like 9 months maybe that you moved here.
It's crazy. Like time just flew. Yeah, honestly, that's really the reason we bought Sight Unseen again, was just because we trusted you so much.
Well, now, like working for me for the last 9 months, like I put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
It's not accidental. Like the team and that you're now a part of, and you help with those communications. Like, I think that so many of the people that work for me are past clients. Mariah is, Emily is, Victoria is, Bella is.
Yes.
So just Kama and Landon. And I mean, Jenny's not a past client per se. I did have a buyer of mine purchased her house when she sold it. So like adjacent. But I think because you guys had such a good experience going through the process, I think that you're even more passionate and diligent about making sure the people that you now help me work with also have that experience because you valued it so much.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know. I love being a part of the process and like just being able to give people the same, if not even better experience. Like, hope, peace of mind, education, like all of the things that we provide literally on a daily basis to every single client. I feel so strongly that all of my past clients who work for me do such a top-notch job at that because you appreciated it so much when you were going through the process. Yes, and I have such high standards for working with any other realtor, like in a different state, because you're literally the best at what you do.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Nobody else can compare to the communication, the standards, it's everything.
It's been a journey.
It has been.
Didn't happen overnight. Like, I was talking to someone on a client call before we started podcasting, and I was mentioning like, packet this, packet that, this packet, that packet, because they were concerned about when we got into contract if I was going to stop communicating with them. Like they were like,
never.
When we get an accepted offer, are we going to hear from you less? Like, what's the expectation for communication once we're in contract? And, I very got into the weeds with them on like, hey, you're going to get this packet as soon as you're in contract, next steps. You're going to get also a packet after we set up and have your home inspection. Then there's going to be lots of communication with my transaction management team on like all the in-between parts, like the association documents, the seller's disclosure, like all of the things. You're going to, get a packet from me for the final walkthrough, like all of, I call them breadcrumbs.
Oh, I like that. That's a good analogy.
It's sort of what I've been calling them because it gets people to understand that it's laying a little trail for them to move through this finding home method that I've sort of started, coining it over the last 2 years or so. But it's not something that other agents do.
No.
And I'm not saying that other agents don't have the conversations with people, but to give some, you're like,
some don't.
Some don't, but to give people resources that they can refer back to.
Absolutely.
So that when they're in the throes of whatever, whether it's a PCS, whether it's the home buying process, it's not all you have going on in life.
No.
So, I mean, I can tell you something, but if you're listening to me, but also thinking about the 15 other things that you have going on with your spouse, your dog, your family, the kids, like whatever, it's not all going to stick. And I talk fast and I cover a lot of ground with people.
Yeah.
So the breadcrumbs, the packets, the fact that they're voice and video recorded.
That's huge.
You don't even have to read, people. You
can just be in the car and listening. Like
exactly.
It is very, very helpful.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that, as I continue to build the empire and I think about maybe like making the finding home method into something that, other real estate agents can like purchase or I mentor on or like whatever. Those are like the fundamentals, is just giving people information overload to the point where they're like, I didn't even have to ask the questions, but I got all the information that I would have wanted.
It's giving Devil Wears Prada, like anticipating your needs.
Yes, Emily.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal. So you saw the house for the first time at the key day, and I met you for the first time at the key day.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But she did a very comprehensive video tour of the whole property, literally every nook and cranny. Yeah. I felt like I knew the house before we even went into it.
Yeah.
But
super important.
Huge.
And now why I have meta glasses for the whole team, because it makes those video tours a little easier. Like when you're going around like opening up, you're about to get your license and start doing them, you'll see.
Yay.
But like going around and opening up like cabinetry and like closets and stuff like that while you're holding the phone.
Yeah.
It's doable, obviously, but the meta glasses have been a game changer.
Absolutely. And it gives a good, like, POV. Like, it feels like you're there.
Well, just the driving. That's
that too.
Honestly, like, the biggest reason I did it was for, like, team safety, because you guys are so diligent about filming the neighborhood, which is huge.
That is huge.
But we don't need to be holding our phones while we drive.
No, we don't do that. So we do not do that.
Meta glasses all day.
But to be very frank, we did come and do a drive-through of the neighborhood before we got our keys. We just kind of were like, we're going to go stalk our house.
Love that.
And we just drove by, and then we like got out and we couldn't find it. And so we asked one of the neighbors and we were like, hey.
It is a little labyrinthy in your neighborhood.
But we found it and we just kind of stood outside and we're like, this is our house? Nobody was living in it anymore. They moved out already, but we were just like, all right, back to Waikiki, and we drove back. But it was just like
what hotel did you stay in?
Queen Kapiolani.
Oh, okay. Did you like it?
Nice, yeah.
Okay.
The room was very small. I mean, luckily it was just the two of us and our dog and our cat. But it's very like tight little room.
Okay.
But the vibe there, the restaurants, the pool, like everything else was good. Really, really good. And the location was really good too.
I'm skeptical on the location. That's why I asked what you thought of it, because it's at the very end of Waikiki. Like it's far down there.
But the shuttle that takes you to Schofield, takes all the soldiers, is at the Honolulu Zoo.
Oh, okay. Which is right across the street.
There.
Yeah, right across the street. Okay.
We didn't need a rental car.
That's smart. Okay.
We actually just saved our DLA.
Yeah.
And didn't get a rental car. And then if we needed to go anywhere far, we Ubered. But otherwise, we could walk everywhere. He took the shuttle to work or caught a ride with somebody else.
Okay, so that's kind of a pro tip. If you're Army and you want to take the shuttle, it leaves from the zoo, which is right across the street from the Queen Kapiolani. Okay.
So we didn't know that until we got there. And then we're like, oh my gosh, this is literally by chance. Like, it's perfect.
Good to know.
Yeah.
The restaurants there are good, though.
They are really good.
We did Loretta's graduation dinner.
At Deck?
At Deck.
Yes.
Deck is...
Oh, delicious.
Yeah. I'm fasting right now. We can't talk about food.
Sorry.
I'm starving. Okay. So that is sort of your real estate story in a nutshell. You've been here 9 months. You've owned your house for 9 months. whatever comes to your mind. I'm going to count to 30. You only have 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Something you love about military life. We bitch a lot about things, right?
Ooh.
Something you love.
Getting to experience other places. Getting out of the hometown.
That's
the biggest thing for me.
Huge. Something you love about real estate.
Ooh. The organization of it. Like I love the doing the paperwork and watching the entire timeline. Like it's very, and the contracts and stuff. Like I started in like the legal field, and so this is very adjacent.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Yeah.
I think you know that.
I think I do know that. The world doesn't know that though.
True. Green, but specifically like a forest green.
Yeah, like the color of your cup. Your cup is a perfect shade of green. If you could unilaterally change one thing about the PCS process to Hawaii, what would it be? Like magic wand, like Glinda style from Wicked, unilaterally change one thing.
Communication. Honestly, like just having more of a packet almost, but like from the military, like just having them.
You know what? You triggered me.
Okay.
I just have literally sent multiple emails in the last couple of weeks to people in power at ACS who is in charge of the newcomers briefing, letting them know like, hey, I already am doing this within the military community. I only work with military families. I sent this packet to over 640 families last year. Military families are struggling with the move here, with housing options here. What would it take? What do I need to do to start conversations about getting into the newcomers briefing? Because so many families already arrive here on island trusting me, knowing me. You cannot Google PCS to Hawaii without finding me.
True.
What do I have to do? And I have been monumentally disappointed that I have not gotten one piece to speak about on communication.
Yeah.
Not one email or piece of communication back from multiple people that I've reached out to.
And that just shows like where the priorities are at because they're not with the PCS. They're not with the families.
Right.
I don't know where they are, but.
The other thing that irks me about that is the people that they do have briefing at a lot of these incomers briefings, you know what I'm about to say right now. They're not even military.
Yes. Why? Why? Explain in the comments. Like,
yes, please tag ACS. I want to know, like, where.
Who do they know?
Where
are they paying to be here?
Yes, like, I will give you all of my money. Like, what does it take? Like, my husband served 22 and a half years.
You're the epitome
in
of military.
The Army.
Yes.
My dad, career Air Force. My grandfather, career military. My daughter, in the Air Force.
Yes.
Like, who is better equipped to talk to military families about arriving on this island than me? And I've built a whole business I am a spouse, a woman-owned spouse business that started from nothing and built this business helping military families.
Yes.
And I'm just really disappointed that they can't even email me back, even if they said, we're not interested.
Yeah, that would be something at least.
That is a really good one. For a rapid fire, like off the top of your head answer, that is a really good answer. And sorry to sidetrack our conversation.
No.
You really just triggered me with that answer because I've just been waiting. I check my email every day. I'm like a kid. I'm like,
that's so frustrating.
It is.
If I did have to do one more answer, it would be, that is my answer. But also the pets process, like. Honestly, like moving in the mainland, like it's way easier. You can just drive, but specifically like bringing your animals overseas.
Yeah,
it is. I wanted to have our dog on the plane with us, like in a seat. I was even looking at buying a seat for him. I had like a crate that was big enough for him, but I had to jump over so many hurdles, and then we ended up having to put him under the plane anyway.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't even have been able to fly if he were certain breeds.
Sure.
We would have had to figure out what the hell to do with our family member. Like, he is our family member, and you're going to tell us, oh, he can't go.
Yeah.
What do you mean he can't go?
Right.
He's a part of our life.
Right.
He is, right now, he is our child. Yeah. Like,
he's a living being that you're responsible for.
And there are no concerns with safety. Like, he is the sweetest dog, and you know him.
He is.
He would literally just sit there.
Yeah.
And
look at you with his human eyes.
Exactly.
So cute.
And so, like, for months, I was heartbroken. I'm like, I'm going to have to leave him with, our parents or somebody. And I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So if I were to change anything, it would be, allowing military to bring their dogs on the plane with them in some way.
Right.
Where they're not under the plane and not having to be under the seat.
I think reimbursing people for the specific, because I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like Hawaii Pet Transport or something like
private,
that. Yeah, that do it. They're there to like transport pets, which I think is genius, but it's expensive.
It is. We actually got a quote for it. It was almost $3,000. Yeah. And because it was in the middle of the summer and we were in Georgia.
Oh, the heat stuff.
Yeah, we were going to have to bring him up to JFK in New York because there are only 2 airlines that would fly his breed or whatever.
Got it.
In the summertime.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but it would actually be cheaper for me to go up to JFK and fly with him and just pay for it myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to pay somebody else to move my dog when I can just go and do it myself. So it was almost $3,000.
Wow.
Crazy.
So, I mean, yes, that's a crazy amount, but if the military was at least reimbursing us for it, it would just be something to like ease the burden of that aspect of the move.
Right.
Because even with our small dogs, which were Chihuahuas, and there's no breed restrictions on them, and they fit in like little cat carriers and they fit underneath the seat. And it was, as far as pet transport goes to Hawaii, I think it was easy. I still started the process over 3 months before we came here to do the blood work. And I understand and respect why those things need to be done. We're a rabies-free island, and absolutely everything needs to be done to protect that, and et cetera. But the military, I think, does fail a little bit with the compensation or reimbursements for things. Because, you get dislocation allowance. You get this little bullshit, like $3,000. The military is like, here. And you do get reimbursed for some pet stuff, which just started not that long ago, but it's not nearly going to cover the actual cost.
For one pet. And we have 2.
Right. We had 2 when we moved here.
Right.
And we didn't get reimbursed because it wasn't a thing then, but you do get a little bit of a reimbursement now. But if you think of like the pet stuff and the rental car stuff and some of these resort fees that aren't covered by TLA.
Even like, parking isn't covered.
Parking, exactly. Things like that. It absolutely eclipses the $3,000-ish, that you're getting in dislocation allowance. And I think even the military only shipping 1 car.
I don't even get me started. I had to buy a car when we got here. Like, I'm not going to pay for my little, 2016 Subaru Impreza that's falling apart.
Right, your beater. You're not going to pay whatever to move it here.
No. And so I got a new one, and, that costs money.
Yeah. I just think in today's society and day and age, most families have 2 working adults.
Absolutely.
Because you need to have 2 working adults to survive in our economy nowadays.
Yes.
And therefore you have 2 drivers and you have 2 vehicles, and to expect military families to incur, thousands of dollars in cost to ship a vehicle or having to replace a vehicle when they get to their destination coming here or Germany. Like, again, on the mainland, you can drive. It's not that big of a deal. But coming here, I do think that there is room for the military to improve the reimbursements that we get for the costs that we do incur coming here that are unavoidable.
I agree. Like, we spent so much money, and I just don't think that civilians think about that. They're like, oh, you get to move all over the world and you don't pay anything for it. And it's like, but we do.
Yeah.
We pay a lot money-wise and emotionally, and like, there's so much that goes into all of it that is very unseen by people.
100% agree. And that's not because I'm big on like, we get to live in Hawaii. We're not, we're not complaining about living in Hawaii. No. It's not a Hawaii. That's not a Hawaii specific statement.
No, this is everywhere.
Yeah. Like, you could move from California to New York and still experience largely these same things. We've rambled on enough. You need to pick up your guest topic of choice.
Okay. And that was actually, so the you get to live in Hawaii thing was something that I was thinking about, talking about. Like, people forget where we're at. People forget that you're on an island that people literally save up their whole fucking lives to be here.
Yes. For like 10 days.
Yeah, for like literally a week or so. Yeah. And it drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I have to live here. I don't like it here. I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Seriously. You want to go somewhere else when you're in what people call paradise. Yeah. You are, getting paid to live here.
You are getting paid to live here.
And you're going to tell me there's nothing to do here.
But I feel like those people that say that, and I've said this to you multiple times in private. Yes. I guess I'm going to say it to the internet now. The people who say that are the same people who sit in their on-post house and they watch the same shows on rerun on Netflix, and they don't get off the base. They don't leave the installation. They go to the PX, they go to the commissary, they go to the Class 6. If that's truly what makes you happy in life, I'm not knocking that. But I think there is a direct correlation between the people who are like that, and I think that they're going to bitch and moan and piss and complain about any duty station that they are at, whether it's here or whether it's in Washington or Colorado or Georgia or Florida, whatever.
Yeah.
You're just not going to make those people enjoy the experience. Like,
no.
And this is what military life is.
Yeah, this is literally like you know what you're doing. Like,
you should at least. I mean, there are some people, like, imagine you didn't grow up military and then you married a military person. You should still, I think, there is inherently the knowledge that military moves, and you know that you're going to be moving. There is sometimes, I've just from talking to so many spouses over the years and becoming close with a lot of them, as I do, knowing something and then living it and experiencing it.
For sure.
Different. There's a difference there. Yeah. So, I mean, you can know what you're getting into marrying a service member. And then the actual practice of what you got yourself into can be a little harder than you thought it was going to be. And that still deserves compassion.
I agree.
But at some point, if you're staying in this world and in that life, you do kind of have to embrace it a little bit and make the best of it. And it can be uncomfortable sometimes and you have to get out of your shell a little bit. But the biggest thing, like one of the things that I love most about military life is the community. Like, of course, the places, but like the community that we get to have sort of built in for us at these duty stations. It is unique and it's so needed. You know, like you get to a new duty station and you don't know anybody, but you can go to an FRG meeting or a spouse meetup, or even just go to a playground and know that there's going to be other people in your same situation that know what it's like to move and be new or just moved themselves. So like the sense of built-in community is something that I've always cherished. And now being at the end of Clayton's career, or like he retired 7 years ago, but being done with it, we still have these people that like flow in and out of our lives that we've known from like 6 duty stations ago. And we might not talk to them every day, but like, it's just a cool community.
Yeah. It doesn't just go away when you leave.
Right.
Like,
and so I think if you're someone who is just sitting in your house and not bare minimum getting out in that community at least a little bit, you're going to be miserable wherever you're at.
Oh, yeah. But, and that's a bigger problem that you need to work out yourself, because
we don't have time for that or skill set. You might, but I don't.
Yeah, let's have a therapy session about it.
Emily will get a couch. You can lay down. But I think to your point, embracing it a little bit, like go to the Polynesian Cultural Center, go to the Bishop Museum, go to a luau, I'm not a hiker. I don't like outdoor activities. If there's mud on me, I should be at a spa. Like, you know how I feel about that.
Yes.
There are so many like paved. Yes. Like it's like a walking path. It's like paved.
Yeah, it's not like you're on the side of a mountain, like looking over the edge, like, what? How did I get here?
No, there are so many things like that you could go out and do that aren't like crazy. Like, I'm not diving. Do you know Mariah has free dove? Girl. I don't know what the right word is. With sharks?
Girl.
Twice.
That's a near-death experience. Shit.
I know. And I don't fuck with that.
I
don't fuck with that. Twice. And I was like, right. And she was like, I don't know if I should do it again now that I'm pregnant.
Mariah.
So, I mean, you don't have to do that level of, you don't have to be Mariah.
You can if you want
you can.
to.
People do it, but like without a cage. When she told me it was without a cage, and she said with a cage is actually more dangerous because they chum the water.
Oh.
To get the, the sharks on your face.
You would never find me there.
No, ever.
No.
Not even on the boat, watching the people swim with the sharks.
I'd much rather not be there.
I'll be on shore with my acai bowl.
Absolutely.
Not on the sand. Sand is disgusting.
This is something you need to know about Canada moving forward.
Or a toxic trait, depending on who you are. But anyways, that is a really good, we get to live in Hawaii, even if you don't want to do the crazy Hawaii things. There is something here for everybody.
Yes.
Firmly believe that. And you guys, I don't think have done this yet, but don't undervalue island hopping.
No.
It's
I'm excited.
So cheap. It's I think the last time we went to the Big Island, it was $120.
That's cheap.
And they have flights all day.
Yeah.
You can just get on a flight in the morning and just stay for the day if you want to.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And it's so cool because all the different islands are so different.
Yeah.
It's, we're the most touristy island. We're the busiest, most populated island. Right. We have a city, Honolulu is city vibes for sure. But you go to Maui and it's completely different. You go to Hilo or Kona on the Big Island.
Right.
Completely different vibes. Kauai you would love it. That's going to be your favorite island.
I'm
calling it now.
I'm so excited.
Mark it on the calendar. I'm on record. Kauai. The plants.
Oh my God.
And the greenery and the rainforest on Kauai. You're going to move. I'm going to be like, where's Emily? She's working remote from Kauai now.
I'm just living in the rainforest.
Right,
no house. Yeah, no house. Just in the trees.
It's a little fairy from Fern Gully. You're Krista.
I love it.
But yeah, don't underestimate or don't undervalue island hopping. Yeah. Every island has its own history and culture, and something that I talk to people about every single day when I give keys. I have a whole little packet. It's right there of Hawaiian holidays, Hawaiian words.
That's huge.
Hawaiian cultural stuff about the turtles and not being able to touch them, and just things about Hawaii, because I think military families move here and play tourist too much. Sure, do the tourism things, but also really, as an example, when we moved to Germany, your girl was pumped. I was I'm going to sprechen Sie Deutsch. I'm going to learn how to make schnitzel. I'm going to I researched the castles. Right. Yes. I'm going to do the things. When we come to Hawaii, I was your girl's gonna sprechen the bikini. Yeah, I'm gonna go bathing suit shopping. I'm gonna live at the beach. I'm gonna, drink tropical drinks with umbrellas in them. Right. And it's so one-dimensional and it's so basic. And I was guilty of it too.
You think this is it's just a part of the U.S. It's just we're just over here.
It's
and
not.
It's just a tropical island.
It's not.
No, it is so much deeper than that.
Yes.
And I don't know why people don't take advantage of, and anywhere, but specifically here, the history here is so deep.
Yes.
It is deeper than you think deep. It's deeper than that. Incredible, the most amazing things that you can learn.
Right.
Just values.
The family, the emphasis on family in Hawaiian culture is something to be admired.
Absolutely. And
I love it.
And it drives me crazy, and I'm going to go on a little spiel about when you come here and all you do is, like you said, bitch and complain about living in one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen, at least. You got to come up with new stuff. You got to complain about something else because and I know when people move here, they're okay, I'm really nervous about finding a job. I get it. It's hard.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, go work at a Starbucks. Go
there
find
are jobs.
Something. Yes, go find something, even if it's not what you want to do forever.
Yeah.
Find something to do. You'll meet people there.
Yeah.
And you can complain about any job. I get it. But you got to do something. Get yourself out of the house. And like you said with community, join a book club. Mm-hmm. Join a hiking club.
Pickleball.
Pickleball community is huge here.
So huge.
Huge. Yeah. I don't know, you can find community anywhere, and especially with how many different cultures are here on this island. It's crazy. You will find there's somebody for everybody.
Of melting pot. On Kama's episode, I'm sure you've watched it and maybe heard us talking about this. That's how Pigeon came about. Like the Hawaiian slang were like vocabulary. I don't know what you'd call it. It's like slang, not Hawaiian, but it's slang for just so many different languages because you had like people from Hawaiian, and then you had people from like the Philippines and people that were from Portuguese and like whatever here, working the sugarcane fields or mining stuff or whatever back in Hawaii's, history. And pidgin was sort of the shorthand way that they found to all communicate with each other,
so cool.
Even with all of the language barriers.
I love that so much.
Kama told me that when I went to the Bishop Museum with him, because there's like a little section, I think on the top floor, like around one of the sides, and it has like a little placard about pidgin. And he like read the little placard and then gave me like another 4-minute long, like he should be like a docent or something at the Bishop Museum. It was amazing. And I find that so interesting that even though they had language and cultural barriers, they came up with their own language to sort of like shorthand it enough to speak, which I think they
tried to make that community.
Did try to make that community.
And they did it.
So yeah, I find it interesting, and I think it explains kind of why it's so like, it's not all the words that should be in a sentence, but it's just like short enough to get the point across.
Right.
And that kind of makes sense when you think about its origin. So fun fact about pidgin.
That.
Yeah.
I just cannot even fathom complaining about Hawaii.
And that's not to say though that like it is far from family.
I get that. I do.
No one's saying that you have to be like Sally Sunshine about everything all the time. Like
nobody is.
Nobody is. But the generalized, we have to move to Hawaii kills me. But you can still miss. Well, honestly though, your friends and family probably coming here to visit you.
Here. My God.
Still is far from family, and any PCS sucks and has its stresses. And no one's saying that those things need to be swept under the rug, but I feel like those things get the lion's share of the attention.
Yeah.
And I just want to do our small part to highlight the fact that it doesn't suck.
No, and when it comes to, because a lot of people, island fever this, island fever that. Honestly, here's the thing. Like, coming from Savannah is a small city. It's like 2 hours or 2.5 hours to Charleston, 4 hours to Atlanta, 2 hours to Jacksonville. You're very secluded in that small area. And I was thinking about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's talking about island fever. And if you're there for a few years, you're going to get sick of it and you're going to go crazy and all this. And I'm like, but it's really a mindset.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about, I was living in Savannah. I really never ventured out of Savannah.
Really?
It was literally just the thought that I was connected to the rest of the U.S.
You could if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the mindset comes from, where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm on a floating rock in the middle of the Pacific. Like people, I feel like that's where people's idea comes from. Like, I'm not connected to anything.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
You're not, and that's true.
Right.
Doesn't ever enter my mind until literally we have like tsunami warnings or like storms,
on a floating rock.
Yeah, it doesn't even enter my mind until I start thinking about bad weather.
Yeah,
which we've been here almost 10 years. The last year, I don't know if it's just time in like the cycle of the weather or like whatever.
I'm honestly thinking we brought it here. We had the hurricanes in Savannah. Now we got the Kona lows. It's got to be us.
It's maybe just leave, get out. We're gonna sell your house. In the last year, we've had like tsunami, that big tsunami warning, which was crazy. Yeah, we've had this whole Kona low system, but a decade and we've never had weather like this. So it's not common. That's another thing on my recent client calls. People have been like, flooding, the weather, blah, blah, blah. The North Shore, yes, has experienced a lot of flooding, and I'm not trying to minimize that at all, but people think that like the whole island is now some version of like Water World.
I know, so many people have reached out and been like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm living in Eva.
Yeah, it's hot, it's dry, we're good.
Here.
Our grass is green, I didn't have to water it. So people, or like when the volcano is going off, my stepdad like messaged me and he's like, I heard about the volcano, are you guys okay? And I was like, it's
not the same island.
Hundreds of miles away. And I mean, thanks for checking. You never know. But like, yeah. And then some of the other islands do get it worse than us. Like Kama's, family on Molokai, their property did flood pretty badly. So, I mean, it's not to say that like the islands as a whole haven't been experiencing, flooding and some issues, but that shit happens in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
You just talked about tornadoes and stuff from Georgia. Like,
we had to replace our whole roof from a hurricane.
Weather incidences are not exclusive to the island. But when we have them, I'm like, I can't just drive.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
No other time does it even enter my mind that we're just on a floating rock. But like,
yep, because this island is it's bigger than you think. Like,
it is bigger than you think. Fun fact: when you house hunt, you wouldn't know because you did it sight unseen because you're impatient.
I am impatient.
Fun fact: when you house hunt with me in person, I make it a day. We get some Starbucks. I take you around to different parts of the island. We're doing a little bit of like an island tour,
and do it now.
So fun! Like it's so fun to just like take new people out and play welcome wagon and tell them about like, this is in Mililani and exit 5 is where the town center is. And this is what's in the town center. And we're in Eva and this is Kamakana Alihi. And this is our favorite burger joint. It's so fun. You can drive around the whole thing in like 2.5 hours if there's no traffic, but it is big. And I mean, I think there's like 1 million people.
Yeah, there's not
here. Like it's big.
Yeah.
In terms of
right.
A Caribbean island that maybe has like, a few thousand people to like our island has like I think 1 million or more people on it.
Which
I think that's a wrap. Any other things you want to tell the people, topics you want to bring up? Ooh. We covered a lot. This was a dense in the best possible way podcast.
I think my biggest message is don't be scared to buy a house. You can come up with all the excuses in your head, like literally everything.
Yeah.
But it's the same money going towards, housing on post, renting, or buying a house. You're just assuming a little bit more risk for a bigger reward at the end, possibly. Like, there is, in my head, no reason not to buy. But also, like, the excuse, you're too young, wrong.
Yeah.
You've got all the excuses.
Yeah.
And she could argue every single one. Every single one of them.
And do. Yes. On a daily basis.
And then buying sight unseen, it's really not that scary if you have the right team to help you do it.
With technology nowadays, and since COVID, it's just been a bigger and bigger thing, that people want or are comfortable with. So that's very true. And in the vein of like risk, I think like sure, like
any investing comes with risk.
Any investing comes with risk, but I also think in Hawaii specifically,
this is different.
It is different because we always have a supply and demand issue because of, every single branch of military is here. And we have DoD civilians who are here supporting all of those installations and military stuff. And then we have foreign investors who come from all over the world, but primarily Asia, to buy our properties. And then, of course, don't forget about the local population who also needs houses. And we're out of land. We can't build more houses en masse the way that Texas could.
Yeah.
And it always creates this, it's economics 101.
Right.
Supply, demand.
Yes.
We never have enough supply to match the demand. So even you look at big, real estate things in the market, like the housing market crash.
Right.
You look at data for, like, we are heavily invested in Colorado Springs. So you look at the Colorado market for years after the housing market crash. It took years for them to recover. Hawaii saw 2 down years. And immediately, was back at it. And then I think the statistics are, in the last 20 years, we've never seen back-to-back years of market losses.
Damn.
It's crazy. And in the last 10 years, I want to say, we've never seen a market loss bigger than 0.6%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So there is, and that's something that I talk to people a lot about on like my client calls, is the data, the proof, the hard black and white evidence, not your fears, not, your grandma's fears because she doesn't know what the market is like now instead of in 1980.
Yeah.
The data is what does it for people because that's concrete. You can't argue that. You can still be scared and you can still choose not to buy because you're scared, but you can't argue the statistics and the data of buying here and it not being that big of a risk.
No, and that's like, and mine was more of a blanket statement for like
it
everywhere.
Is still risk in general.
In any investment.
Yes, has risk.
But you're right, like the Hawaii market is completely different, and that's why when people come here and they don't have the education, and then they talk to you and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah, I had no idea. So
right,
you just have to get educated. That's all it is.
True.
You can't be scared.
Get educated. Buy a house. Well, thanks guys for joining us. Thank you, Emily, for joining us. As always, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. I wouldn't have any of this if it weren't for all of you. Bye, guys.
Bye.